You're listening to the Beauty Me podcast, which is all about beauty without the BS. If you're interested in how the worlds of beauty and wellness are intertwined, or you're obsessed with daily rituals of skincare and self-care, or you just want to know the latest when it comes to new beauty, this is for you. I'm your host, Charisse Kenyon. Today's guest is someone I've wanted to have on Beauty Me for a very long time. I can't remember how long I've been following Abena Boamah-Acheampong, but I've always been struck by the genuine joy she shares in creating and building her brand, Hanahana Beauty. In this episode, I really wanted to find out all about Abena's morning routine. I guess because I just wanted to know where all her energy comes from. If you follow her on social media, you will know what I mean. I also wanted to find out how she strikes a balance between being focused on her brand, but also ensuring she's paying attention to her mind and body. As someone who is very open and honest, I wanted to find out if there's anything Abena feels she doesn't want to share on social media. While we discuss the world of beauty and wellness, what really comes to the fore in this conversation are the words intention and authenticity. And I feel anyone who listens to this episode will genuinely feel reinvigorated and ready to take on anything. I hope you love it. So first things first, got to talk about the morning routine. Like from the minute you open your eyes, tell me about your morning.
Okay, so my morning can go two ways. So my morning routine, I wake up, honestly, I always say this to people, everyone should be waking up and using the restroom right away. Like you have to relieve yourself from what it was of yesterday, everything. I just really try to start, and it also makes me feel healthy to know that, doing that and making sure to get water in my system right away, which I've been trying very hard to do because I realized I was quite dehydrated all the time. And I've been this past 2 months, I've been just listening to meditations in the morning, and then I'll do yoga or a workout. So it's because it's cold, I don't go outside in the morning, but most of the time I try to go on a bike ride or do something by myself. I really take my mornings, the first 2 hours of my day very seriously, for myself. And in the sense, first I used to be so strict about no phone, no nothing, and to the point of strictness where if I did do it, I would get really upset with myself almost.
Yeah.
But now I've just really taken it as a time of the first 2 hours of the day are for you. So how you want to use it and be intentional, you should use it. If that means you don't want to be on the phone with anyone and you don't want to use social, that is what you're going to do. It's okay if at times you do, but allow yourself to remember what you actually want. This morning, I spent the whole morning just cleaning and prep the space because I live in a work-live space. So I'm currently in my room, but there's a whole entire loft out there for work. So I really try to take my mornings so seriously because, I don't know, I just feel we wake up so early all the time to go do something for other people. And we should really wake up to do something for ourselves first, and then we can move on, Yeah. Yeah, but I try to do that. I try to, I love, being able to shower and do my skincare, and just enjoy. I listen to a podcast in the morning I listen to the daily every morning, as a roundup of tidying up even, yeah. And I like waking up around 6:30 because the sun is up, and, I just feel if I'm having a bad morning, that may be at 6:30, but at 10, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Panic attack or two in between, but we'll figure it out. Okay. But yeah, I really enjoy being able to feel comfortable with routine because a person like myself, I love structure and routine as much as I also love spontaneity and you know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day is this sense of control that I'm working to work with of I enjoy and also don't enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
The amount of control. As an entrepreneur, it's like, wow, you have so much control, which means so many choices. But I also like where I'm like, but I also enjoy being able to have control over my space and like how I can move and feel comfortable, you know? So the morning really helps that.
Well, as you're the founder of Hanahana Beauty, we have to talk a bit more about that shower routine. Like, what's happening in the shower? Are you still showering in the mornings? Because so many people have changed their routines because of lockdown. So is the shower still part of your morning wake up?
Oh yeah, I do. I honestly, I shower like twice a day. Yeah, I shower twice a day because I'll do yoga and work out, and then it's like, okay, of course I have to shower to start. And it's just like, you know, as quarantine was happening, I think a lot of us were just kind of moving through the day, not doing, and even myself, like when I started in quarantine, when quarantine started, I was still working by myself. I just got back from Ghana. Like, I wasn't able to even work with like the interns that I did have. And then now we have like a full-blown team. So it's like, I get ready, but then it's like, I need to get ready to also, you know, be here and feel good and not just be walking around in sweats and, you know, all of that. So right now, for my shower, I love, first of all, to turn my shower on a little earlier so that it can get steamed up.
Yeah.
It takes some time for my shower to warm up. I feel like black women love hot showers. I don't know what it is, but I like a little burn and then I'll cool it down.
Yeah. It's that steam. It's that. I don't know what it is.
I use, what is it? They have Alafia. They have this soap. It's just like natural soap that I use. I love their cucumber soap, like bar soap. I start with that. I do our exfoliating bar, which is really nice, especially in the wintertime. Like, it's like double. So I love using that. I love also, my face washes, because I'll wash my face in the shower. And I'll do I kind of switch between 3 right now. Okay. Clear. Have you heard of Clear?
Love the look of it, but I don't think they ship to the UK.
It's the UK. Yeah.
It looks like my kind of product. Like, I want to shoot it so bad. It looks so good.
Product, yeah. Like, have you ever tried Youth to the People at all?
No, but I hear they've got an amazing face wash that everybody loves. Yeah,
I would say those two are like just like basic gentle cleansers that I love those two. And like right now I'm using Claire. I haven't bought, like, I usually would just refill my Youth to People, but then I bought Claire and I'm like, I think I might just keep using Claire. It's very gentle. I feel like it actually does wash my face, and I feel like it moisturizes. I'll use then, if not that, like twice a week, I'll use our exfoliating cleanser because I don't want to over exfoliate, but our black and brown. So if I'm using that, I don't use any other cleanser because I'm like, I don't need a double cleanse of that. Or I'll cleanse with Manuka honey.
I need to get into that. I keep hearing that it's amazing, especially if you have congested skin, any type of skin.
It's a natural. I literally talk about.
Yeah, I know.
On every podcast I do. So I'm like, Black people, listen. We need to be on this. This is for us, okay? Like,
tell me why.
It's okay. So why Manuka honey is so great is one. Well, I mean, obviously, honey is a humectant, so like we already know the benefits in that sense, and very hydrating. All those different things that your organic honeys do, but it's also a natural exfoliant because I think it's about where the tree it's tapped from, or something. I don't know all the basics of why it's such this like nutritious and has all these like vitamins or whatever to help, like, because it's such a healing like honey, because I feel like I can use Manuka honey and I don't have to add anything else. Like, I'll do a Manuka honey mask with nothing and just take it off, and you can tell the benefits right away. Or I'll just literally put it on, mask it, and then I'll rinse my face, and that's like my wash. Because when you rub it in, you do feel the exfoliants. Like, it's got
tiny grains, like crystals.
Yeah, so I wish I don't know all the exact why, and but I do know And I always tell people, I love to do the research about a thing, take it in, okay? And then if I try it, I do know if it does not affect my face in a negative way, I'll continue. You know what I mean? And if I don't need anything, I won't. Like, I don't try a lot of different brands, not because I don't want to support brands, but because, like, I don't use a lot of things anyways. You know what I mean? Even the fact that I've expanded this, like, of different types of cleansers, it's because before that, the things that are in it are things that I know of. You know what I mean? Yeah. But after that, I guess if we move to skincare, I am a true believer and love Tower 28, their SOS spray. It's so good. I use it as my toner. I use that and rose water. I would like do double toner. The Tower 28 SOS spray is so great, especially if you have dry skin, dehydrated skin. It helps with eczema. It's basically, I tell Amy Lou, the founder, is actually one of my mentors. And I was telling her, like, when I live in Ghana, I realized I was allergic to pineapple, which really sucks. But, and I obviously just kept eating it. But the way that my allergic reaction showed was through eczema. So I would break out. And I would say the only way that I will stop things for skin vein.
I'm the same.
Dairy brings this. Oh, we're cutting it out. Oh, pineapple. Oh, we're cutting. See, like anything. But when it comes to like skin, sometimes I feel like I grew up not having a lot of skin issues. So I feel like I kind of grew up with clear palate. Like one of those people that were just like, you know. So for me, anytime a small thing happens, I'm like, what's that? Like, where did this happen? Like, what is going on? But one thing that I would do though is my aunt was just like, go swim, go to the sea. Like, it's salt water. Wow. And so I would, like, on Sundays I would swim. And honestly, swimming and being in the ocean, like, was healing. So for me, and that was something I did a lot of I would do a lot of salt baths and different things in Ghana. And so when a spray that's literally sodium, like having all of that in there, I was like, perfect. And it works. It works really great. I do that to start off with toner. I've been using my topicals recently. I was like a bit hesitant, to be very honest, because I don't like trying products. And I'm also like, again, I'm very much like an ingredients person. So what is in so I like did my research on what it does, what the main ingredients, and I've been using it, and the faded is really nice. It's a really it's like a thick jelly serum.
Okay.
And I use it. I've been having like small little breakouts because I've been eating too many Girl Scout cookies, and I'm like, I'm doing this to myself.
That's me.
It's me. It's just me. But yeah, so I've been using that, which has been really helpful with some faded, just like helping with hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
It takes a while, so I'm like been nervous to like share because I know that people look at me as someone, if I share about a product just because as a founder, even though I don't think of myself as like a skincare girl, I think
you are. That's Instagram. Abena uses something, I want to try it. It's just how it goes. Yeah. It's influence.
I want to be very careful, and that's why I always tell people like, this is my skin type. This is what I'm using, because I don't use a lot, and I know because I don't really be like talking about other brands as much. It's not because I just don't use it. You know what I mean? Like I'll talk about like purchasing or tagging clothes because I'm like, yeah, these are, But with skincare, I get so nervous. But I've been seeing nice results, and even their like butter thing too, which is for eczema. I've been using it on some eczema patches and just like seeing, because I feel like I have my routine of what to do for eczema. But I was like, let me test out and see. I was a bit confused first if it was like a mask or not, but I think you can wear it both as like a mask and. But it's really nice. I think it's like a solid product that I think it's a targeted product. So if you're trying to do hypertension, it's doing what it says. So I really like that. And I've been seeing results for other people too. So it's been really cool. But I'll do that. And I'll honestly, after that, I'll like put on either maybe, I'll do an oil. So I'm doing watermelon oil and, what is it? Black seed oil. I'm doing a mixture. So yeah, I've been mixing that. I like hemp oil. Like I'll intertwine between like a hemp and, So in between them, I'll do a moisturizer just because of how dry it is. And then sunscreen. And I'm like, and lip balm. Because I feel like my lips, even right now, I was like, I need to get it. I feel like my lips.
Mine is so dry right now. It's like,
I'm licking my lips. I'm like, oh my God.
This is meant to be the worst thing, isn't it? It's like, you lick the lips, you make them need the moisture again, they dry out. It's a cycle.
And I'm so embarrassed sometimes because I stay telling people don't be ashy, and then I'm like out here.
Well, that's your tagline now, so yeah. I'm
like, hello.
Well, yeah, I'm glad that you delivered on the skincare because it's like, I needed that from you. I needed to know because it is that way. It's like you follow someone and you start to notice their glow and you're like, you want to know more. But one thing that I've learned is it doesn't mean that it's for everybody. I think we all need to take a little bit of onus on ourselves and be like, I need to know my skin.
Yeah. I think I try as much because I feel like for me, I love sharing about like creating even like your own things at home or like masking especially because I think there's just we have so much control over like our skin through eating, through how we work out. And I think it's like, if one thing I hope everyone in this quarantine took time for is like being more intentional about your body. And I think when you are intentional about how your body can move, how it can feel, you're automatically should be focusing on your skin too, because at the end of the day, it is your largest organ. Like it covers everything. Yeah. And I know that's so like, skin is your largest organ.
But it's true.
Sense. I don't know why it's become this trend. Well, I do, but like, there's this whole thing, like, even when people talk about like authenticity or like, everyone's like, oh, don't say it, but it's like, but authenticity is like an actual word and there's a meaning. So if I am authentic, that is what I am. Like skincare, like skin is your biggest organ. So it does make sense for skincare to make sense and take time for it, even though, through marketing, like just how this world rotates, we don't want to like just start with those basic things, right? You know what I mean? And I know there's like two different comparisons, but I've just been seeing a lot where like people are like, but I don't want to say that because like, but it's like, that's what it is. Like,
it is what it is, but also it's the thing that protects everything else. It lets in things, it keeps out things. So, it's like earlier on you mentioned about what you eat, and it was you that got me thinking again, the whole dairy skin thing. I do believe it's been an issue of mine for a long time, but I like cheese too much. But I've just reached this point, and I think it's a lockdown thing. Another guest that's in this wellness series, she was like, haven't you noticed how you notice things way more in your body now? Because you are not rushing here. You have to stay with it. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think that chocolate was good for me, but I like it. But I didn't think it was good for me. Like how many times am I willing to go through that? And I loved it when you're like vanity. I'm like, I'm the same. I need to be more so clearly. More vain.
I literally bought like a box of Girl Scout cookies. When I mean a box, I mean a large box with multiple boxes.
Oh my God.
And they're all gone. They're all gone. And so, I'm going to have to deal with what's going to come up.
And it's going to come up.
Like you did this to yourself. There's times where I see a pizza and I'm like, wow, I think I'm going to eat a piece. You're going to have to deal with that dairy. I now know enough. And I think it's nice enough to be able, I think it's like, it's okay to make those choices and eat the dairy and eat the chocolate. I think it's the point though of us being able to like be aware and know what it actually does to our body. Because I think sometimes we're just like, it doesn't do anything. But it's like, actually it does. Like, I don't know. In America especially too, I'm just like, the processed foods, everything. Like, I can tell a difference when I don't eat something for a period of time and when I do. So I think it's like, okay, now you have the choice to be like, do I actually enjoy not feeling well? Do I enjoy my skin feeling this way or not? You know, like there's times where I don't eat bread. Like I don't really buy bread like that unless like I'm like, okay, it's time for that sourdough.
Oh.
I want a sourdough. I want a French bread right now. But listen, I'm not like, I don't have loaves of bread in my house. Yeah. And I know I stopped eating bread, how less heavy I felt. Like it was just like, even if I'm already a skinny person in people's mind, like I could tell how my body felt. And it was just like with dairy and even just with my face, like certain things, I'm like, wow, I'm going to break out. Like it's going to happen, you know? And it might not seem like a big breakout to other people, but to a very particular person such as myself, who examines every...
And you don't even normally get them. So yes, I would understand it's a big deal.
Yeah. I just be like, and then, you know, to top on that, it's been such an interesting running a skincare brand where like my face has also become
the face of the brand.
Ideal, right, of what people think of like with healthy skin, which that I would like to think that my face is, you know, healthy skin, but I think to then continue to upkeep, I don't upkeep it in the sense for the brand, but just there is that dynamic that I'm sure a lot of skincare founders are like, I mean, I have to look good. Like, I'll be blessed. Yeah. I'll be blessed and thank you for keeping it together, because sometimes I'm like, is karma going to hit me in a way? Like, I don't know.
No, I'm I mean, I'm a beauty writer. Do you know how it feels to be a beauty writer that gets hormonal acne?
Yeah, like, you know, it's like things like that where it's like, and that was one, like hormonal acne, that was like a thing. Like even when I came from stopping birth control to not, I was like, wow, my skin has, when I was on birth control, I felt like because of the hormones, my skin just stayed. Like there was nothing, you couldn't do anything. And then when I stopped taking birth control, that's when like I had to kind of readjust my whole self and be like, oh, because I no longer have, even if it was small dosage of hormones, these are the things that are affecting me. When I'm on my period, I need to start doing this beforehand. Like if I'm, you know, just like really kind of like curating a skincare routine, not just like your morning and night, but for who you are, like when you're on your period, before your period, during the seasons, like all of that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, and I think that's why also I've been even more open now of actually looking and trying other brands as much, you know? And like being still very intentional. Like there's only so many brands that I use on my face. Like now my topicals is added, Clear is added. Other than that, it's like Cocoa Kind, Myself, Glossier, and I utilize Folin and Tower 28. Like those are like the brands that I've like, you know, that I know that if I go, there's a certain thing that I will utilize for skincare. But I think just, you know, being back in the States, I realized how this environment really does affect my skin. Because in Ghana, I'm moving. Like I just spray a tap. And you're done.
I love that tap.
You know, like wash, tone, and you know, like it's more important to mask in Ghana more than anything because of the dirt. Like, but like here, it's just like everything affects your seasons, this, that, the pollution. Like, it's so interesting. So it's just really made me be more intentional about how I take care of my skin, because I definitely was someone, I've always found it important to take care of skin, but it's been such an easy process, you know. Like, I didn't have that puberty breakout. Like I didn't have those moments. It was like, oh, because I wear makeup and didn't wash it off when I was a nasty 22-year-old, that's why I had bumps. You know what I mean? Like, don't sleep in a foundation that doesn't even match your skin tone, girl. Like, why are you even using that? You know, like, what are we doing? So I feel like throughout like my 20s, like I I've just now been more, my skincare routine has been more intentional about just like what is showing up, how to be preventative and also continue like maintenance in that way too. So
you seem like someone, from what you share on social media, that word intentional definitely comes to mind, and perhaps also kind of like an intuitive approach to what you need. Is that something that you've had to embrace, or have you always been that way, kind of like able to look in and be like, this is what I need in this time, in this moment?
I think I've been able to, like, I feel like in general, like I'm a pretty like empathic person. Like I was a teacher beforehand. I was a therapist beforehand. And the reason why I'm no longer any of those things, even though I would say that I did very well at those things and was like, that was the path. Like I really, for me, my purpose, I think in life is about how do I create space for other people to feel comfortable about learning in some type of way, right? About themselves, whatever, but mostly about themselves. So the way that I kind of attacked that was through like teaching. Like I thought that was the way in therapy, you know? But the reason why I ended that is because I realized also as I was doing it, I was not happy. I was very in tune to how my body felt when I was in school, to when I was a therapist, to when I was in grad school, to when I was working doing Shea. And so like Hanahana is very intentional in the sense where I knew that I wanted to create something that would be sustainable for myself to be able to also sustain this level of like enjoyment. Like, and when I say enjoyment, I know we joke around like it's been this like, you know, Ghanaians who say enjoyment, but like really this like joy, like, you know, not even just like about happiness, but like things that bring joy, you know? And so I feel like I've always been in tuned about, you know, myself and like how I feel and when I don't feel comfortable. But sometimes it was very hard for me to really voice that or understand. But like it would show up like in how, from anxiety even, like, you know, like, or to the happiness or knowing when to move in different things. And sometimes it was hard to really figure out where it was coming from. Like, is this my anxiety or is this my intuition? You know, like that was something that I used to struggle with. And also I think because sometimes when we try to separate it, we're like, okay, it's my intuition, so don't listen to my anxiety. Whereas it's like, okay, maybe both of them are showing up. Why is your anxiety showing up and what is your intuition saying? So I feel like I've been in this like process of like just continuously thinking about those things, because as someone that like, I mean, I don't even know if you say everyone says like struggles with anxiety. It's like anxiety is a part of my life. I'm an anxious person. Like anxiety shows up, depression shows up. I used to be so surprised. I used to be like, how are you here when I'm doing well? Like, you know, how are you here when things are like, what's going on? What's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Like, again? Like, it was literally one of those, like, again? Instead, and like, through therapy and everything, like, it's been helpful to really just navigate that and not be like, again, it's just like, oh, this is how you're showing up. Why are you showing up? It's okay that you're showing up. Yeah. Maybe it's not okay. We need to figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? How do we move? But yeah, I do try to be very intentional about my life because, I mean, I think that this year showed us even more, but I feel like anything is possible. Like bad, good, anything is like, even just what we were talking about this morning, like I woke up, I was doing meditation, I was fine, like everything. And then I saw a friend pass. You know, like it just, anything good or bad can happen. And I think that understanding for me has allowed me to be more intentional. It allowed me to check myself a lot more too. Because sometimes when you're so intuitive to yourself, you don't want to in tune to how you move around other people. And I think, you know, it's just allowed me to just be more like intentional about like my everyday life, just like living each day as a day and like how I feel and knowing and all, you know what I mean? Like you never know what your last day is, but you also don't know what's to come even more. No. So
it's like that balance. Yeah. People talk about that balance, but it's also that kind of stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, just and be here, like that whole present thing. I think it's so important. I feel like with social media, it's so easy to just not be here, to go back to yesterday or think ahead to next year and manifest this. But what about, right now?
Yeah. And it's like, especially as like, I feel like my head is like always like a quarter in advance, a year in advance when it comes to Hanahana, right? Like and I think that's what sometimes people don't even understand fully. Like when you're planning and all these stuff, it's like, I really be trying to, like, I'm a very organized person. And so like my brand and business, and my team is full of also very organized people that love organization and planning and allowing us to like grow and be happy people too. We're multifaceted Black women. So like we want full enjoyment. We want brand success and we want self-success. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we all want to be in a space where we can like be happy and grow and just enjoy. So we plan ahead a lot to strategize and how we can really grow as a company. But it's like at the same time, we're human beings. We have to be present. We need to like enjoy these moments too, and like figure out these moments. Like I think if there's one thing that I've learned this past 2020, the last half of 2020 was, and as I'm coming in now, is that like sometimes we're in a moment or in a space or in something and we think like this is it, this is it in the sense of like how good it can be, or like, this is how bad or whatever. And it's like you do have control over ourselves. Like even though there's so many things that obviously control us too, there is a level of control that we have to continue to like give ourselves, like the level of authority, and I like always like write down like God has given you authority, like regardless of what God you believe in, you have authority like to move. Like there's given authority to you. You have to allow yourself to know that too. And so, yeah.
Oh, I love that. One thing I do love about you, what you share on social, is like the process of using your products. And that was always what kind of came to me when I wanted to do this whole beauty times wellness, because most of your products involve touch, and touch is how you keep in touch with yourself. I don't think you'd have to really go somewhere to mindlessly rub, shea butter into your skin, and you have to be present to like watch it melt in, and do you need more? But I just wanted to get your take on things. Like, what do you think? Do you believe that beauty and wellness are intertwined? Because for me, I feel like how you feel affects how you look.
Exactly.
And how you look affects how you feel. So for me,
yeah, I feel like it's just this intertwined. Like I honestly don't think it should be separated. I think they are different things, but they are definitely intersecting.
Yeah.
Like they are always a clash. Like it will always, not even clash, it's always adjoined. And it's like, even when I think like Hanahana, we say we're a consciously clean skincare, beauty, and wellness brand. I think like we figure out ways of how to provide a level of wellness for you. Like the product is a beauty product, but applying it is wellness. It is your self-care. It is taking care of the women are making this beauty product, but they deserve a level of wellness as much as, you know what I mean? Like our health, our wellness, all of that is intertwined. Wellness is like a new word for some people, like, and just like even how we think about it, right? But the definition of wellness is encapsulating. It's like wellness is holistic. And the issue sometimes is like beauty is not holistic. No. Like beauty is not holistic for some people. And at least for Hanahana, we look at everything in a holistic manner. Like from sustainability to wellness, there's different ways that you can find wellness in everything that you do, because wellness should be encapsulating of it's how do you feel? Is your body well? Like health is wellness. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like we're like wellness and then like, medicine and then like beauty. And it's like, but wellness is medicine. Wellness is like, because wellness is a holistic word, So yeah, I think like you said, when you feel beautiful, you feel good. Like if you like, you feeling, not if you look beautiful. It's like when you feel beautiful, you do also feel good. You know, there's just those correlations happen just as the same as like when you feel broke or when you are broke, you don't feel well. If I don't feel broke, I probably feel good, you know?
Yeah.
It's like those are things. Like, it's just like our core wellness is like the whole. And I think we have to continue to like, you know, really speak on wellness in that way, because then it allows people to feel like they can be connected to what we call this wellness industry. Like, there's no wellness. The wellness industry, yeah, there's a number on it, but wellness is a thing that anyone and everyone should be able to be attached to if you want to feel well.
Yeah.
You know? And some people may be like, no. But it's like, nah, then you're not really about wellness, because who am I to be like, who can't be a part of the wellness space? Like,
yeah, that's
you know
definitely, I mean,
if your wellness is just sitting down and looking and breathing. Yeah. We say it like, no, but that is wellness, because that's meditation.
No, I think people think you have to go to a yoga class that costs 50 pounds an hour or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like a certain image of wellness that's sold to us.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely like a connection to whiteness too, right? Like, it's like, I was watching Goop on Netflix, and literally this white man jumping into freezing cold
Wim Hof
water, breathing, and I was like, bruh, that's nice, but you know, black people be jumping into cold water all the time. We've been breathing too hard. You know, like how it was presented, right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, that's wellness, but like I can be in Ghana and see people jumping into water, just playing, all that enjoyment. And that is also a level of wellness too, you know? So it's like, we as a wellness industry have people in the industry, in the space, we have to continue to like appreciate what other forms of wellness and traditions that usually we take from anyways. I mean, by we, I don't see myself, but whiteness takes from a lot, and then redoes it and says like, oh, it's this.
And makes it
and it's like
expensive.
Yeah, and that's expensive, you know? And it's like, it should have been expensive just because of what the tradition was.
The value, yeah.
And it's not even about expensive. It should feel wealthy. It should be a luxurious experience, because it is. And that's why I even think with the Hanahana, it's like, this is a luxurious experience, but it doesn't have to be a luxurious price, right? If it does get to that luxurious price, everyone that was a part of it should also be receiving the level of luxury too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So, not that you're a spokesperson for the health of, you know, the United States, but I just feel like I wanted to ask you, because, you know, so much has happened in the world, but in America, you also had the election. You know, I breathed a sigh of relief for you that day. You know, finally a tiny little window of change has occurred. But I wanted to ask you, do you feel like this past year, so election, pandemic, Black Lives Matter, do you feel that the overall wellness of people has improved because of this time out, or do you feel that it's been to a detriment, all of the things that have happened?
So I don't know if I can speak, like, I feel like, you know, sometimes we are in our own bubbles. So I would say within my bubble that I know, like from family, from how I look at social to like my actual friends, I feel like people are being more intentional.
Okay.
But then, and about wellness and how they take care of themselves. But also, I know that this time is so difficult, and with everything that's going on, and with the numerous people that have lost jobs and all these different things, and just like, even just how continuously our government and politicians and people that are in power, even though, you know, Biden was elected, whatever, they're trying to pass it, like, the amount of things that have happened in the past 2020, like, I don't know if I can speak at a clear mind of how much it has negatively affected people. Because I think I was on the opposite side a lot of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so much grief that has happened, so much death that has happened. Like, there's so many things, and people are literally like have lost jobs and are in poverty, that people have never been homeless before are homeless. Like obviously that happens a lot. So I don't know if I can say that everyone is in a place where they feel like their mindset is just about wellness for themselves. Because I think that's one of the things is like being able to like think of wellness as a holistic matter is such a privilege because it's a mindset. You know what I mean? There's just it's just allowed you're moving in a different realm if you're over here. Like that is privilege. And I think sometimes we have to really talk about what privileges look like, you know, especially for Black people, because I think sometimes we don't want to acknowledge the privileges we have because privilege is such a negative connotation because it's talked with white privilege instead of being like, if you have a privilege, that means that you have the opportunity to utilize that privilege. Like, how do you share that privilege, you know?
Speaking of like the self, I would just like to find out from you, someone that, you know, you've mentioned anxiety, and I'm like, you know, the persona that we see out there is so full of joy and lively. What do you do for yourself? Have you found any things, I mean, are there things in your life you've always relied on to keep you calm, or have you experienced new things during lockdown that have become like new rituals?
Yeah, I mean, I think therapy, you know, is something that I am very consistent about because I know it's very important. I think it's very important to have a place where you can freely just speak how you're feeling without any judgment. So if I pay someone to do that, I will do that. Like I think honestly, I feel like therapy should be something every Black person receives, everyone receives. But I think, like we should all be receiving a level of therapy or the opportunity to. I love to dance. I smoke. Like I really enjoy taking. Like, I love clean, like, I don't know, there's just certain things that I love structure. So I love enjoying taking time for, like, cleanliness and, like, you know, like, those things of skincare and stuff, that does really help me to, like, calm. And I love plants. I've always loved plants. I love, like, being able to create. You know, like, Hanahana is a part of stuff that can cause me stress sometimes, but also, like, the creative portion and being able to create and, like, just laugh or just, like, have conversations like this. Like, these are things that help me feel like I'm able to reflect and also, like, just give into something, you know? I think I love cooking. I love to cook.
I've noticed.
And like sometimes my anxiety and like just work and how my work ethic goes, sometimes like I'm not eating as much. And that's something that I really like, I try to be, I know that like food for me is something that's obviously for everyone is very nourishing, but also I know can be sometimes a thing that I don't make time for. Because I'm like, no. And that's like a part of my anxiety and things like that. So I have this rule with myself of like, whatever I'm going to eat is going to be good. So and most time I don't like to eat out. Like I'm like, but I have to eat out a lot. And so if I'm going to make it, it has to be top tier because that might be my only meal that day. I really enjoy like being able to like make things that feel good and do good. And I'll light a joint and play some music and, you know, make some tea and like, you know, just do like, I feel like I might as well make everything the best for myself.
So right.
It's not just going to be a small tea. It's going to be a hibiscus.
The best.
Like,
I love that.
If I can do it, then why not? Because sometimes I can't. Like sometimes I don't take that time. So if I'm going to, you know, just to do that. And I think also this mindset too of like, just trying your best, you know, just trying your best. Like today, how was your best? Can you do better? Sure. You can always do better, but what's your best for the day? And I think friendship for sure. Friendship and family is so helpful. Like in general, like I can be very reclusive. Just even though I'm very open and like out, like I always say like social media, like y'all don't know me. Like, you know, like, you don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you only see a part, right? Like, there's so much that happens behind the scenes, even in my head, for me to like show up. You know what I mean? So that's why those taking time for meditations and all that stuff is because I'm aware that it's a lot of work and energy. So I'm trying to figure out how I can continue to give myself that energy to do that, because I do have I set expectations for myself of what I reach and how I want to feel. So it's like, because I know that, and because I'm also in a place now that I know that and want to make the time to do the work to do that, which can sometimes be very hard, you know, all the different things, how to communicate, like being direct, like all this stuff that can help me relieve level of energy, like anxiety, you know, that's on me. It's like, okay, I know I'm going to make the choice to put the energy into doing it, even though sometimes it's very, very hard. And it's also shows yourself, you know, sometimes you have to be like, you're not a problem, babes.
Yeah.
You are problem.
Just then you mentioned about the whole social media, people not knowing everything. And that's been kind of like a newer question I've been adding in, because I always want to know if there's one thing that you could tell the people that follow you. Is there that one thing that they really don't know that you haven't shown?
I feel like what I give to social is enough.
That's a good answer.
I can give more, and I used to give more, to be honest. I used to be even way more open and showing. I don't have time, but also I think that social media has really changed how people approach others, you know?
Demanding. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the expectation of how people think you should respond. And my being as a person, my response is usually a calm response regardless. Or it's just like, it's not a response. Like, or it's just like, I don't, as much as I enjoy giving and like, I love videotaping, I love showing myself, like, I enjoy the receiving of it, like the response back and everything. Sometimes I'm like, it's unnecessary. And it's not even like bad. It's just like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah. But it's also like, I didn't put it out there for an instant response. I'm expressing myself. I don't need you to tell me that I did that wrong or should have poured that differently or thank you.
So it's such an interesting place. It's just such an interesting place because people, like, it's like people love you, but they don't love you. And then they do like you, but they want to, like, call you out. Like,
and they want to know everything about you, but they don't want to like or comment or, you know, that support thing.
It's interesting. So I just think that I give social, like, y'all will receive. And like, if I want to, like, and that's why I like the close friends, because I really love documenting. I love documenting. I genuinely feel like my life is enjoyment and fun. Like, if I was in a space where you can make a show out of it, like, to be honest, it's not about me, it's about the people around, and like, they just are I'm really surrounded and blessed by like amazing friends and team and family, and also they're just very successful and great people too, you know, and we're all growing. So of course I wish I could show my life to like, but it's like, no one is paying me for this. And if I'm gonna have unnecessary commentary and feedback from everyone and anyone, it's okay. Like, I grew up in a Ghanaian household where I receive feedback and everything from anyone and everyone in my family. I receive that and I'm okay with that. And navigate. I do not need that from all of social. You know?
Love that.
So it's like, I do want to show you guys all the time when I'm dancing, but these men on here don't know how to act. So
the sugar daddies. Okay, final question now. Tell me about when you feel your most authentic, real, beautiful self.
So, you know what? Honestly, I feel really good after like a big team meeting. Like when we run team meetings and then it goes well. Tenny, who's our social impact, she'll always just like send me this like, you did that. Because she's like one of my best friends, but she's like also our social impact. And she's like, wow, that was a real meeting. Like we're really a brand. You know what I mean? So after those types of meetings, like I do feel really good. Like I like have to bask in that at times. Like I know that's not like a beauty act exactly. But no, but I feel really good. Because it's like, wow, we all came together. We did a rollout. And, you know, it's all together. So.
And that's a real feeling, which is what I'm after. Do you know what I mean? Some people will say when they've got a full face on, a lot of people say straight out of the shower. And I'm always like, but why? And they'll say it's just because it feels like potential, like ready.
And I think after the shower, because I'll look at myself and I'm like, nah, like you're actually bad. Money's not even about the potential. I'm just like, nah, like really just.
I love that.
This is it. So, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna squeeze in one little question.
Of course.
What would be your just one tip to anyone that is feeling the brunt of the pandemic? They've hit that wall right now. What's that one tip you would give them?
I think it's like going back to doing things like just reevaluate what you do to make yourself feel good. You know, like what are the things that make you feel good that are also like wellness for you, or like that's not bad because you know things can make you feel good right away.
Yeah,
but it's like, and also sometimes some of those things do it. You know, I think it's like just we really have to. I think we have like realized again there is a pandemic, even though things are changing and whatever. There was a whole year. We're coming up on a full year of a trauma and something that no one has ever experienced. So I think give yourself that space. Honestly, I think we have to continue to give ourselves that space, but also to continue to like see what our goals are really about, what makes us feel good. Because I know for me, that's why I always say, what makes you feel good? I know being successful, moving, doing these types of things, having to makes me feel good. So it's like, okay, what makes me feel good? How can I start doing those things to get to that point? Also, what makes me feel good is tea. So maybe just like, you know, start those small things like, and write it out. And I think start like moving that way. Because I think sometimes because of all the shutdowns and everything, we're like, we can't do anything that makes us feel good. But it's like, there are things, there are ways still to continue to like feel and nourish yourself and as a whole person and like grow, you know? And it's okay to be feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed or like, because I feel that, like, honestly, all the time, like right now.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have those feelings and also to have the other feelings that, like, are helping bring that down. You know, it's like, it's okay for those things to be there. And I think that is something that I've had to I struggled with. And, like, I'm fully now in this, like, place of, like, those are feelings. That's how you feel right now. You can feel other ways, too.
Thanks so much for listening. You can find me on Instagram at Beauty Me Podcast and feel free to slide into the DMs. Do please like, subscribe and review. It really helps Beauty Me be seen.